We all come to meditation for many different reasons. For some it might be to remove the negative influences from our life, such as stress, anxiety, depression, fatigue and worries. Whilst for others it might be to increase our creativity or performance in the workplace, to feel more presence in the moment, so we experience more joy, love and laughter with friends, family and loved ones. Whilst for some it might be to establish a deep sense of connection to something within inside ourselves, or something beyond ourselves. Vedic meditation is widely recognised as the easiest and most effective form of meditation that absolutely anyone can do, because we don't need to establish or adopt any new belief systems or dietary requirements. We don't need to sit uncomfortably cross-legged, we just sit comfortably. And we don't need to concentrate or control the mind against that constant sea of chatter that we all experience. We just meditate easily and effortlessly for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon. In this short video, I'm going to share with you what is Vedic meditation and how it compares to other forms, why we meditate, how you can learn the technique and where it derives from. I'm sure you'll agree with me that the modern world, as exciting and wonderful as it actually is, has come with an increase of pressures and demands. We have more to do and less time to do it. It's also suggested by experts that we are processing the amount of information in a single day that our ancestors of 250 years ago did in a whole year. So it's no wonder that stress, anxiety, depression and fatigue are at epidemic proportions. So these stresses and pressures aren't just affecting us mentally, they also affect us physically, with doctors indicating that up to 90% of diseases are either caused or complicated from stress. And cardiovascular disease, which is the single biggest killer on the planet through heart attack and stroke, is also a stress-related illness. So we really need to find a way to help us navigate through this current world we live in, without us taking a constant toll on our mind and body. And this is where meditation really comes into play. With Vedic meditation, it gives us the stability within this dynamic, changing world we're living in. Because I'm sure you'll agree that no matter what we do, the pressures and demands of the modern world are always going to be with us. So through this stability, we gain access to a sense of calmness, clarity and confidence, so we can deal optimally in this modern world. So what is stress? Well, stress is like a reaction or an overreaction to a situation. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're walking through the bush with a young child, and the young child yells out, "Big brown snake." You instantly get an upsurge of strength thanks to a cocktail of chemicals that come flooding through your body: cortisol, adrenaline and noradrenaline. Your heart is palpitating, you reach down and you pull that child out of harm's way. And then whilst you look down, you realise that that's just a stick. And this is what's taking place with a lot of the stresses in the modern world. That fight or flight system is designed to help us fight or flight in life-threatening situations. We're triggering that when we're in traffic, when we get phone calls that didn't go according to plan, when we're running late for school, dropping the kids off, and we realise they've left their lunchbox on the table. Our hand is perpetually on that stress trigger. It's become habituated in today's day and age. And these stresses accumulate within our body. So we really need to find a way to release those. And meditation gives us the ability to pause, to take a higher viewpoint of actually what's taking place and choose how we want to respond rather than react. So what is Vedic meditation? Well, I'll share that with you, but first I'll share what the other two main forms of meditation are. The first form of meditation is concentrative forms of meditation. That is where we're trying to concentrate the mind on, say, our breath, or a candle, or an item, whatever it might be. The second form of meditation is what we call contemplative forms of meditation. That is where we are just using what we call open awareness. You may have heard of mindfulness. It's a technique where we're just observing what's going on within the present moment. What sensations are arising with our body, what thoughts, feelings and emotions are coming, how the sun feels on our skin, whatever it might be, we are just observing them without any judgment. Now the similarity between these two practices is it's using the surface level of our reality, of our minds and our bodies, to try to go deep within. Whereas the third form of meditation is what we call effortless transcending. This is where Vedic meditation comes in. We are neither concentrating nor contemplating. We're using what we call a mantra, which is a Sanskrit word, or two words, literally translated to mean vehicle of the mind. So we're using a vehicle of the mind to drop deep within inside ourselves. Let me give you an example. Let's say our mind, the surface level of our reality, is like the surface level of the ocean. There's always that constant sea of activity. It's indicated that we have up to 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, that constant chatter on the surface level. And we spend most of our time just swimming around up there. Yet if we took a cross-section of that ocean, you could have a raging storm with 30-foot waves, whereas at the base and the depth of that ocean would be a deep state of quiet and calmness. And that's the same with inside ourselves. No matter what's going on the surface level of our reality, and beneath all of that is a sense of quiet, a sense of being. This sense of being is what Vedic worldview attributes to the origin of all thought, creativity and intuition. And by using the vehicle of the mantra and the procedure how to use it properly, we are just diving into fainter and fainter and finer and finer and finer levels of thought. And that takes us down into a field of being, that depth within ourselves, where it's unbounded, it's calm, it's peaceful, it's very blissful, and our body goes into a deep state of rest and restorative relaxation. Science refers to it as a state of restful alertness, where our body is actually at a state of rest 2 to 5 times greater than that of sleep, yet our mind is highly alert. And it's here that we really get nourished, both in our mind and our body. And we start to reduce and remove those effects of stress on a daily basis, and also removing those accumulated stresses of our past, our baggage that we bring with us. And there's so much scientific data and research that has been conducted into this practice, with many benefits ranging from helping us to beat the blues, from alleviating the symptoms of stress, anxiety and depression, to boosting our immune system so we have more energy and we're happier and healthier, to lowering our blood pressure, which in turn lowers our chances of heart disease. Our brain gets a massive boost in power from increasing our grey matter in the areas of the brain related to thought and memory at any age. Plus, we get increases in our brain volume in the areas of the brain related to positive emotion and self-control, which in turn also help us perform better in the work environment and the school environment. And it's also really pivotal to help us remove some of those negative patterns from our life, to the extremes such as addictions to alcohol and drugs. And finally, one of the greatest benefits that we receive from meditation is that in our relationships. Relationships really are our whole experience in this life. How we relate to our friends, family, lovers, employers and employees. But there's one relationship which is the most important of all, and that's the relationship to ourselves. Through this practice, each and every day, we come into contact with that state of being within inside ourselves, that stability within inside, where we get more calmness, more creative, and more clarity on who we are. We start to clean those filters of our minds and increase the quality of our thoughts, and therefore increase the quality of our life. So relationships are certainly pivotal to really help us perform well in life and experience exactly what we're all here to experience, which is probably more love, laughter, joy, all those wonderful things that are about this experience of life. Because it's not just what's happening whilst we're sitting meditating. This practice is really all about what we're experiencing when we're not meditating. We're really here to enhance our life. And that's the true joy and gift that Vedic meditation brings. So where did this technique derive from? Well, Vedic meditation has been around for over 5,000 years and originated in ancient India. And it has been taught from teacher to student in an oral format since that time. So how do you learn Vedic meditation? Well, Vedic meditation is taught, as I mentioned, in an oral format over 4 sessions. You can't learn this online, so you come and join a group course or a private course. And in the first session, which is a one-on-one session, I perform a short ceremony in which I express gratitude to the tradition of the teachers and this lineage. It's kind of like when you walk into a martial arts dojo and bow. Once I've done that, I then can hand over your personalized mantra, and then the procedure on how to use it properly. The second, third and fourth sessions, we further refine the technique, and you give your body of knowledge, which really gives you a deep understanding of what's taking place within your mind and your body. So you have not just the technique, but the knowledge and understanding to really build a foundation for a self-sufficient meditation practice. And once you've completed the course, you can actually come back and sit the course at any time if you feel like you need to check back in and just increase that understanding or make sure everything's going according to plan. So if you feel you have any questions or you'd like to know a little bit more, there's a couple of options. You can either attend an information night. That's where I go over this information in a little bit more detail and you can ask any questions you might have. Or if you feel this is right for you and you want to dive straight in, which I'd highly encourage you to do, it will be the best decision you've ever made. You can either choose the course in a group format or a private course. If you want to do a group course, you can just select a date on the website which works for you. Whereas if you feel you want to do a private course, just give me a call or email me and we work out dates that suit. I really look forward to either talking with you more or teaching you Vedic meditation.